Welcome back to Elablo. In the previous episode, we that Fuko is struggling to choose between a psychopath undead Andy that want to smash her and blue hair freak Shen that is also possibly a psycho. After hearing that Andy is giving up his freedom for her, she throws away her jacket and tells the blue hair guy to look away for 10 minutes. But he won't do it because it will destroy his possessions of Andy. But she tells him to do it because she wants to go Netflix and chill with Andy without the Netflix part. She's never been in a relationship before, so now that someone is willing to risk their freedom, she realizes that she can at least give him the best chance to survive and survive her misfortune. And if so, that means they have to do it raw, so be it. Shen finds this situation ridiculous and allows them to stay together. If they can kill one of the other 10 members, they can both join. He said they would have another case in Russia in 3 days to confirm the rejection of such a case. So if they can kill that person, they are good to go. But in the meantime, others will be after them. With these words, he said goodbye and goes to his next destination. But since none of them have passports, they drive on the boat. And he finally asked Foucault how old she was, and she replied that she was 18. That was great because that means they can drink there. So once they are done eating, it's time for a vodka party. Meanwhile, the girl on the satellite space station watches from above with a camera and discovers the yacht with Andy and Foucault on it. Andy enjoys the whole trip because he modified his yacht to allow it to go much faster than usual. The same cannot be said of Foucault. She huddled under the seat because she was still afraid that other Union members would follow them on their way to Russia. But Andy doesn't care. He didn't take the boat out of the shed just for her to be scared under the seat. He took her out and tells her to have fun. In the end, Foucault had every reason to fear, as they were attacked by Allied forces at sea and Andy had to take control of the wheel to avoid the missile attack. Foucault is certain they will be destroyed as the boat is unlikely to be overrun fighter jets, but Andy doesn't seem too concerned. At worst, another natural disaster could occur here by Foucault unluck and take advantage of bad luck. She yells that it doesn't work that way and that unluck is just a convenient attack. But Andy shows her how to use your skills to your advantage. He picks up a live grenade and explains that its abilities can be used for more than preventing death. In this case, the hand is partially amputated and a new one is repaired from there, which allows you to shoot the hand with a grenade. That is the literally meaning of hand grenade. He blow up Jet and Foucault thinks they're in the clear, but Andy reminds her that they have to kill the Alliance members like Shen, who has a gold emblem indicating that he's part human. Among 10 Union deniers, he knows very well who these deniers are. The first one is the one who created the indestructible katana for Andy. Another is the mad scientist and his captor who experimented on him after his capture 50 years ago. The last girl was able to create invisible obstacles out of thin air, so she was able to capture Andy in the first place. She caught his head in a barrier and left him with no space to regenerate, so it's going to be pretty bad if he has to face her still. He will face her regardless of the difficulty if it comes down to it. He does not allow anyone to dissuade him from his goals, and even in the worst case, he will use Foucault's unluck. Foucault still doesn't agree that bad luck can't be exploited like this. Meanwhile, another plane approaches. Andy tells her to feel the edge of unluck before they gets into a really bad situation. Foucault hears this and realizes that Andy will touch her again. Meanwhile, we see the girl on the space station looking down and talking to herself about how much she loves Andy. She shoots some of the invisible barrier down, instantly destroying the boat. Andy entered the ocean and wondered what could be attacking them. Before worrying about such things, he should think of Foucault and save her from drowning. He finds her trapped under the rubble and swims to her rescue before he dies. He ducks under the rubble and uses his quick recovery to gain enough space to pull her out. He begins to swim towards the surface, but along the way he notices something that gives him an idea. He took Foucault to the floating side of the boat. He told her that he resuscitated her, but now they have to put their hands up because they was about to be caught. The plane spot them and asks if Andy plans to surrender. He said he about to, but it gives him some time to put the plan into action. He wants to use unluck to overcome it and helps him understand how it works. Until now, whenever something unluck happened, it was related to something coming from far away like lightning or a meteorite. But what was so special this time? In both cases, Foucault's connection with Andy was so important to her that he had to offer something commensurate with the resulting unluck. This time he found something that should have been proportional to the unluck. But when she hears this from Andy, she gets confused because Andy hasn't touched her yet. But just then Andy moved her by saying that she was drowning and he had to save her because it was interfering with Double D. She was embarrassed to find out that Andy saw and touched her, but Andy said that she didn't even wake up when he applied chest compressions, so he performed mouth-to-mouth CPR. Falcout's discomfort reaches a boiling point that set the volcano underneath. They are currently standing on erupts high above the jet. Now in range, Andy briefly goes into Demon Slayer mode and launches a sword attack that kills the plane's pilot. But be careful not to smash the cockpit to pieces and send the plane spiraling. He climbs into the cockpit with Falcout and uses it to escape. That way, they now know they only have a proportional body contact and enable the unlock. Because of this, they have now new means of transportation. This will allow them to get to Russia quickly so they can give it their all. However, in the morning, the plane begins its self-destruct sequence, probably because the feds realized the plane had been hijacked. This causes Andy and Fuko to jump out to avoid the explosion, but now they're falling. Andy is still smiling because he has the secret to landing safely, or at least for Falcout. As he falls to the ground, he breaks every bone in his body, throws his Fuko to protect Atrum from the impact, and then he continues running as if nothing happened. Now that they've landed, he tells Falcout to keep her head down because the denier will be here soon. However, Falcout was so fascinated by the beautiful landscape before her eyes. Falcout goes abroad for the first time since realizing her failure and becoming a loner, and Andy tells her to enjoy her time if she wants to. Because the Union is a secret organization, they won't test anything while in public. He tells her that he will find one of his old war buddies and see if he can help him in his time of need. Before leaving, Falcout asks Andy if the man he has come to investigate is sane. Maybe we could talk about it, but he said he was going to kill them. He still needs to make room them in 10th group. He told her to make sure no one is too careless to be prudent in such a situation. Andy asks Falcout if there's any food she doesn't like because there's a restaurant his old friend owns and he would like to take her there. So this is what will happen when he returns. But until then, she need to have fun. Unfortunately, Falcout doesn't know much about the interesting stuff he talks about, and she can't get along with the locals. Because Falcout would kill them if she touched a local, and she couldn't even speak Russian. However, on the beach she finds a picture of a girl, and it turns out to be the girl from a spaceship with a force field. But Falcout is not aware of this fact. The girl also doesn't seem to recognize Fuko, but she knows she's from Japan and loves her. The girl says that she wears a school uniform very similar to the Japanese one, but Fuko doesn't know that because she's never been to high school. She looks at the girl's painting, tells her how beautiful she is, brings her another canvas and asks Falcout to paint her. Although Falcout had painted before, she did not consider herself a good artist and declined the offer. But then she remembered that Andy had told her to have fun, and it would be fun. The two spend the evening painting, and the girl asks Falcout if she likes things to change or stay the same. She likes things to be the way they are, and is not affected by what is happening around her. That's why she likes art so much. Falcout doesn't know how to answer such a question, so she thinks for a moment, then the two come together. In the evening, Falcout finishes the painting and shows it to the girl, but the girl is confused when she sees the bright light that Falcout has drawn around the moon. We know there are no stars at all in this world, but Falcout added stars because he thought the night sky would be more visible if there was more light in the sky. He also has the answer to the girl's question about change. Fuko told her that 4 days ago, although she was stuck in the same situation for years, many things happened when she met a strange man, including multiple attacks, kidnappings, explosions, near-death experiences, and many other outbursts. Falcout used to everything change for the better. With that in mind, she should say she appreciates the change. The girl said that although she did not agree with Falcout's answer, she understood what she meant. As she was doing this, she went out to the lake and stood on the water. She then takes a large piece of water and levitates it, which confuses and amazes Falcout. Andy runs to the beach and tries to hit on the girl, but she stops him and pushes Andy away. As she falls, he calls her Gina and tells her that her makeup is a little heavy, before sticking the landing spot next to Fuko. Falcout asks who the girl is, and he explains that she is the one who captivated her 50 years ago. That means Gina is now over 60 years old. He says she's been briefed on what's going on here and knows they're going to kill her to move up 10 spots, but if they are here to kill her, she won't make it easy for them. Falcout sits on Andy's back and prepares for battle. This is it for this episode. If you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button to enjoy video like this every week. Take care and peace out.